Okay, so I have now completed the ninth unit of work. Originally, I was given 5 different briefs. These were to create either an extract from a television documentary program approximately about 5 minutes long, a short film approximately about 5 minutes long, a print advertising campaign for a charity, at least 4 advertisements, a fashion spread for a magazine, a radio documentary, or a promotional video for a local business. I decided to create an extract from a television documentary program. The reason I did this is because I wanted to gain some more experience in creating a TV style program, because I've never made one before. And by doing this, I hope to gain a bit more experience in creating it as different area in the media industry, learn different editing techniques, different like documents, and also learn some different codes and conventions of like the idea of documentaries. So, the first part of my research was to analyse 4 different documentaries, looking at the what type of documentary was, the themes, what the narrative structure is, the camera work throughout the documentary, the mise en scene, what aspects of sound were used, how the documentary was edited, and the archived material, and the different amounts of graphics that are used. And I'll tell you, I really did like the graphics in documentaries. Because that's seen throughout my final product. Throughout this, I believe my analytical skills improved because it was like I had to look at different things that I've never actually analysed before. I've never analysed a documentary before. So I thought to myself, I'll look at... so I've learned like skills in analysing documentaries, like analysing TV. Never analysed a TV show before. I've analysed radio, I've analysed films, I've analysed posters, but I've never analysed TV shows. So I thought to myself, that, learning how to do that is a great amount of analytical skills, and it can help me in the future, especially with uni for a course I'm doing, which is a TV and radio course. Anyway, it also gave me better experience on how documentaries are laid out, because a lot of these documentaries all have to follow the same type of theme. Not theme, they also have the same type of structure. So I'm able to find out what should be where in each documentary, and on the end it made it easier for me in my final product. Following this, I compiled a list of cozy conventions for a documentary. I learnt the basic foundations of a documentary, but what should be in the intro, what should be at the end, or what should be in the information sections, how it should be laid out, what it needs to include, and also told me, what I need to follow to create a successful documentary. This codes and conventions list was referred back to when creating my final product and all my plans, because it gave me an idea of what normal documentaries, professional documentaries, I should say, do to make it professional. Documentaries that are on the BBC and on Channel 4, that type of area. So after creating a list of codes and conventions, I needed to make some ideas of what my documentary would be on. I thought to myself, I'm going to make a documentary on the theme of takeaways. I decided to do this because normally documentaries about takeaways and food are negative. They're always pushing the idea of, this bad for you, because, the calories, all that. You got to think about that. But I thought to myself, let me do a positive documentary, because I wanted to make it really positive, to kind of bring a light on a nice light on takeaways, because who doesn't enjoy a takeaway? It was also a topic that I can interview multiple people about, which did make it easier to film, because there's a lot of takeaways in my local area where I can go up, ask the owner, ask a bunch of questions on camera, and I did come out with a good amount of footage. Some of it not usable, I'll get to that a bit later. So after creating the ideas, I needed to continue my research by creating a questionnaire that I sent out to my audience. The purpose of this questionnaire was to find out what the audience would want to see in a documentary. This would make a successful product in the end. The responses for this questionnaire helped me to decide on what music and sound effects I should use throughout the documentary, what the content should be, what does the audience want to see in a documentary. Because I know, what I want to see, but it's different for the audience. So you've got to figure out, what does the audience want? And everything they want to see, whatever they want to see in it. Do they want to see a bunch of facts and statistics? Do they want to see, interviews with people who eat takeaways, which they did. And also, the questionnaire did also help me with creating facts and statistics that I can use in the documentary, because most of the facts, there's one that is not from this questionnaire, but most of the facts used were from the questionnaire. So what the audience thinks, 1 out of 20 people, 10 out of 20 people, 20 out of 20 people, because 20 people responded, bang on 20. Then I looked at the document so I could use it, so I could do a proper statistics, so it could be 40%, 10%, because that really helps me instead of me having to go research official statistics, I've used my own independent research, which I believe does help when you create a documentary, because you have to do that in a proper documentary. You'd have to, go find out who, what is the public's favourite takeaways, or do the public like takeaways, or how much do they want to spend? You'd have to go find that out. So I'm glad I did that, because I found it out myself. I had to get the audience research. I had to look at the Ofcom codes and conventions to make sure that I'm not going to break any of them. This helped with making sure that nothing that appears in my show is going to break the Ofcom rules, because on TV, if it breaks the Ofcom rules, there's either a fine to the channel, or it can even be a TV channel taken off air. And that's to make sure nobody harmed in the recording, because it's something major, and also find out, make sure that everyone is protected in the footage. It's because protecting the under 18s, also rules against not showing violence, which my documentary wouldn't involve violence, because it's quite a hard documentary about takeaways. Following my research about Ofcom, though, I finally created a proposal. It helped me decide on the final ideas of the documentary, which is, makes it kind of set in stone. Set a plan in stone for what I should be doing in the documentary. It's set a placeholder for who I'm interviewing as well, which somewhat did change a little bit. I added one person to it and removed two. Removing two and adding one person all because of a technical difficulty that I will get to later. And also set a placeholder for the locations, which get again changed because of technical difficulties. So after creating the proposal, I made my production schedule, where I set out all my plans for filming and editing. Also when I will be filming, when I will be editing. Now this didn't go completely to plan. The proposal helped me create a production schedule where I set out all my plans for I'd be filming and when I'd be editing. But this is where everything doesn't go to plan, because unfortunately this I was unable to follow, because planning went a bit over time of the planned amount of time. I had to change plans to fit where I was going to film, including with adding the extra interviews, which were done in the documentary. Following creating a production schedule, though, I went straight to the planning. I made a location recce where I set out the locations, decided what filming opportunities were, the aesthetics of the location, what type of shots I could get, which, it would help me when I actually arrive at the locations to be able to film. I made a risk assessment where, all the risks of the locations, what risks can be reduced and who it affects. This is just something simple that I need to do to make sure that when filming, I'm not going to have any issues with any risks, which would halt and, postpone the filming. And I also had to make a storyboard for the opening sequence. This, planned out everything what I did, but the plans did change when I got my footage, so I didn't really follow this. After creating these documents, I had to film my footage. Now, there was a slight few problems, of course. So there was a problem with my footage, a lot of my footage, two segments of it, two of my interviews. So 2 interviews of mine were unusable because of a technical difficulty with the microphone. So I've still not figured out if it was a problem with the microphone itself or if I just didn't plug it in properly. But it was just static. All you could hear was static. Which meant they were completely unusable, which is sad, because both those interviews I did were very good, but I couldn't go back and say to the the takeaway owners, say to them, sorry, I've messed up here, can we refilm, because I've already filmed once of them, I've taken their time ready. That was a problem for my end, which I need to sort out myself, which I did in the end, which is perfect. There was some successful stuff with it, including a lot of shots. I had a lot of vox pops, which I did enjoy creating. After multiple rejections from people in the street, after saying, "Can I borrow a quick minute of your time?" Multiple rejections meant that my vox pops, I had enough for the start. So it's people saying, "Oh, this is I think this about takeaways. I think this about takeaways. I think this about takeaways." You get the kind of thing I'm going for here, which they were usable and they were a perfect way to start off the documentary. Then after that, I created a login sheet where I put where the footage, what footage was usable and what footage wasn't usable. Most of the footage I had was usable, apart from the some shots that were shaky, which I thought to myself, that would be fixed with some warp stabilizer at all. And then I also thought, then the shots where, well, the 2D interviews that I couldn't use because the microphones were faulty or I forgot to plug them in. We still don't know. Then I created an edit decision list where I put what edits were made for the footage, but the decided order did change in post production. This is maybe because when you're editing, you don't want to. I see something else I can do. I'm like, oh, this is better than what I planned, so I change it. Then I created my rough cut, which led to finding more problems with my footage. Great. So the problems with the footage I found, there was some that were shaky, there was some that weren't very good. I had to reframe some of it in Premiere. I changed how much I zoomed in. Well, I zoomed in, let's say that. And I had to go out and refilm some things, including making a new interview with someone who works in the food industry. It was a quick one, so I called it a quick fire interview that I could put in the end of the 5 minutes that I created. So, by the way, I must mention it was the first 5 minutes of the documentary. Put the end of the 5 minutes I created. So you can, it was really quick, like 30 seconds worth of content, but it included another interview. I also went to refilm my interview with the person who likes takeaways because I had easy access to him. So we refilmed it, and I think I've refilmed it better than I did previously. I hope so. But I think it was refilmed better than what was previously, which is perfect for my documentary. After that, I created a final version altogether, which I am proud of. I think I did create a successful final version of my documentary. Because, it runs nice. It's just nice. I like it. I do like it. But altogether throughout this unit, let's start off with research and analysis. I do think I've upgraded my research skills quite a bit. This is because of, having to research, well, maybe analyze different documentaries. Because it's like what I mentioned before about I've never analysed a documentary before. So I thought to myself, this is the perfect opportunity to, analyse a documentary. It gives me more experience in what I need to do in the future. And also, research skills, my questionnaire. I think I'm getting better at making questionnaires. I've been making them for a long time now. But I think I'm getting a lot better with making the questionnaires, which is helping massively when it comes to, final major project or even stuff in uni. Especially with me incorporating some of the statistics in the questionnaire, not finding out it, because that did help with creating the final version of the show. Planning, on the other hand, I did come into some problems with the planning, which were solved in the end, which does show my problem-solving skills are improving quite a bit, because I had to work around a few things, including, changing dates, changing times, but I did work around it, and I think it did create a successful final product. But altogether, I believe that I upgraded my editing skills. That's mainly cutting and music, putting music in. Because normally I'd go for the option of radio, which means I'm only working with audio, not footage. So working with footage and audio did give me a better idea of what I need to move forward for, what I need to talk about, not what I need to talk about, what I need to do. Basically, it gave me a better idea of Premiere Pro with the cutting, the effects, and also with existing audio knowledge, I was able to place the music in there, make it all sound nice, and I think it did make a good final outcome for the documentary. I also, I've improved skills in using Premiere, like I've just mentioned, and also skills using After Effects. Now, After Effects is somewhat new to me. It's not very new to me. I've been using it for the past 4 months, I'd say, to create different graphics and stuff. I think this really helped me find out the capabilities of After Effects, because it's different. Because I was trying to find, I wanted to make the documentary look nice. I wanted to make it look better than, something I've done previously. So, with the graphics, the moving text, the information cards that came up with the text on it saying whenever I spoke about a fact or a statistic, and also the name of the documentary coming in with a preset on After Effects. I just think that it was a great. I think my skills in After Effects have been updated quite a bit. So, altogether, I believe that my this unit was successful for me. I believe that I've created a good and successful product that is professional and would work in industry standard. And I do hope to be creating some more documentaries or TV style programs in the future, because it was really enjoyable, and I did like what I did. So that's practically all. Ta-ra!